This is not 2021. Denver went from about 2 days worth of homes to sell to close to a 3-month supply. That means timing your move matters again, whether you're buying or selling. So I'm going to hand you the same calendar guidelines I give my own clients: the spring window for sellers and the back half of the year for buyers. Just wait till you see what winter brings. Let's get into it. Walk into an open house in Denver right now and you'll feel it the second you step inside. Nobody's fighting you for the sign-in sheet. There's no line out the door. There's no little voice in your head saying you'd better figure out if you're willing to write an offer over asking price. That calm in the room tells you almost everything about where we're at. So let's be honest about what changed. The power shifted toward the buyers. Right now, 1 in 4 homes for sale has dropped its price. It bears repeating, 25% of listings in Denver are not getting offers at their launch price and are having to cut. On top of that, homes are sitting a little longer than they did at the busiest times, and for once, you can take a breath before you write an offer. It is time to think about what you're going to put in front of a seller. If you're shopping for a condo or a townhome, you've got even more room because that side of the market is even softer, and mortgage rates have settled into the low mid-6s as of this recording, and it's unlikely that will change in a significant way anytime soon. That's not where any of us want those rates to be, especially if you're still comparing rates to 2021, but hey, it's steady and the whole market is settling into a new normal. All of that hands the next few months over to one question: are you buying or selling? For buyers, the back half of the year is your window. If you plan to go shopping this spring, be ready to potentially compete even in a slower market. Spring feels like the time you're supposed to buy a house, and that's the problem. Spring is our busiest market of the whole year. March, April, and May are very busy. A bunch of homes hit the market, and a big reason is school schedules. Families want to be moved in before the next school year starts, so everybody lists and everybody shops at the same time. In Colorado specifically, it's mud season in the spring in the mountains, so most of the ski resorts are slowing down, or as in 2026, completely shut down in the spring. It's not quite hiking season yet, so it's downtime from the mountains and an opportunity to get into your new home ahead of summer vacations. So yes, you get most homes to pick from, which, don't get me wrong, is a huge bonus. More to choose from means a higher chance of finding the home that fits more of your criteria, but you also enter the market at a time where buyer competition is much higher. Now, not every single home will have multiple offers on them, even in the spring. In a more balanced market like we're experiencing now, you may be the only buyer bidding, but don't dilly-dally. If you wait too long to think about it, it's very possible another buyer will swoop in days later, especially in the spring. And if you do find yourself up against other offers, you may have to pay over asking, limit what you request in terms of inspection repairs, tighten your deadlines, closing timelines. There are a whole host of tools we can use to help you win a deal, but obviously, you'd rather not have to pull those levers if you don't have to. Now, the back half of the year has a tendency to flip some of this in your favor. Now, there are no hard and fast rules when trying to time the real estate market, but there are some general rules of thumb. First, let's talk about late May and June. Fresh spring listings are still coming, but some of the other buyers are dropping off as summer gets close. Many buyers who are very intentional about buying in the spring, those who were prepared and ready to strike, have probably already found something. So in late spring months, you get solid spring selection with a smaller crowd, especially if it's really nice, warm spring weather and people start opting to spend their weekends golfing or hitting the brewery patios instead of house hunting. Keep that in mind, because if you're also selling a house to pay for this new one, it runs right into something I'll cover later in terms of a timeline. Now, once we start climbing into summer, the competition does fade a bit. Homes will sit on the market longer. Sellers will get fewer showings. Buyers who didn't find what they were looking for in the spring will take some time off to enjoy the beauty of Colorado or travel. I also find that there will be solid homes still available that may have been way overpriced in the spring, leaving buyers with the opportunity to get concessions for closing costs or negotiate a price that makes more sense for them. There's still decent inventory with a little less of the urgency we see in the spring. Fall is an interesting time to be in the market. Like spring, the mountains are cooling down, but the ski resorts aren't open yet. And like spring, many home buyers are looking to get into a home before Thanksgiving and the holidays. But it's still not as busy as the spring market, and you still have less competition, assuming nothing crazy has happened in the market, like a massive interest rate drop. And not that this has a massive impact on your bottom line or investment, but it does help that fall is widely regarded as one of Denver's best seasons. Warm days, cool nights. So you're out looking at homes in one of the prettiest parts of the year while so many others have checked out. I just enjoy showing houses in the fall. Orange leaves, festive decor, it's a great time to be in Colorado. Now, let's talk winter. The post-Thanksgiving feast market is where you've got real edge as a home buyer. December and January bring the fewest buyers out looking and oftentimes the most motivated sellers. It's these 2 months that homes sell for the lowest price compared to what they were listed at, meaning there's room to negotiate in the winter. On the same kind of home, that swing can be $30,000 or $40,000 at average price points in the Denver metro. That's a whole kitchen remodel decided by the month on the calendar. And the people selling in winter aren't playing around. They're often moving because they have to, maybe for a new job, a move that can't wait, a life-changing move that pushes them to offload in the slowest time of the year, as opposed to selling a few months down the road in the spring. That's exactly who you want on the other side of the table. The one trade-off is there aren't as many homes out there in winter. So when the right one shows up, move fast on it. Don't wait for there to be multiple offers. There will still be others out there looking for a deal. But in the winter, you can often find great deals, bigger concessions, and a seller more willing to work with your needs. But what if you're the seller? What's the strategy for timing your listing? But before that, if you're watching this and trying to time your own move here in Denver, whether you're selling, buying, or doing both at the same time, that's exactly the thing I talk through with people every single week. My contact info is in the description below. Please feel free to reach out. I would love to talk to you. All right, let's get back into it. For sellers, the spring window is closing right now. When you're the one with the sign in your yard, all that buyer patience can turn into your biggest headache if you're not prepared and armed with info. There are pros and cons to every season of the year. Your strong stretch is March through June. That's when Denver homes sell fastest and you've got the most buyers to fight over your house. But you still need to prepare your home to attract the most amount of buyers, and overpricing your home, even in this time of the year, could leave you lingering well into the slower summer months. Get pricing and preparation right in the spring market, and you'll be very happy with the result. As we get deeper into summer, more homes pile onto the market every week. Your listing goes from being one of the few good ones to another house in a big crowd. You have leftover inventory from the spring, plus new listings coming on. When your home sits on the market, it can be stigmatized, meaning buyers start to ask their agents, what's wrong with this one? Why is this still available? Is it still worth seeing? I know because I work with a lot of home buyers as well as sellers, and I know they often see homes with long days on market as red flags. Now, there can be lots of reasons a home sits on the market, but if there's truly nothing wrong with the home, then there's a high probability that you are overpriced, and it'll take a big price cut to get buyers interested again. Don't be that seller. All of that to say, you can still get your home sold after the spring. It's not a huge deal. Despite the seasonal noise and higher interest rates, there's still high demand for well-prepared and well-priced homes. Denver is one of the fastest-growing metro regions in the United States. Buyers are still out there in the summer and fall, but they can certainly be more selective, so it's imperative that you go the extra mile with preparation before going on the market. That prep is for a different video, but if you want more info on what you should or should not spend money on to get your home ready for market, let's jump on a call. Again, my contact info is in the description below. Now, another caveat here. Seasonality does play an important role in how fast you sell, but so does the part of town you're trying to sell in. Some hot Denver neighborhoods will have homes fly off the shelf if presented to the market properly any time of the year. Other parts of town may have a much longer time on market for a variety of factors. For example, I sold a couple of 5-year-old homes this year that were surrounded by brand new construction homes. My sellers and I were competing against builders who can offer really low rate incentives and move-in packages. So we had to adjust to look more appealing than the builders, and it took much longer to sell than a trendy Denver neighborhood. Point being, every home in the Denver metro is capable of selling, but the strategy will be tailored to your specific home type and neighborhood. I call it understanding the micro market. One quick tip, if you're going for that spring strength, the prep work starts earlier than people think, 2 to 3 months before you list, not the weekend before. You catch the window by working backward from the day you want to go live on the market. Write that down. While I can, as a real estate agent, get you on the market in 2 weeks, there may be a couple of months of work to do before photos to do this thing right. So call me a few months ahead of listing, if you can, so we can discuss your move out, needed repairs, contractors, cleaning, and more. Now, let's talk about how you're going to buy and sell a home at the same time and in what market. There are a few different approaches, but generally speaking, I am a big advocate of buying before you sell. We will talk about the other approaches in a minute because for many people, this may not be a financially viable option. But if you can find a way to buy a home and move into it completely, then the home you're selling will present much cleaner. It will make buyers feel like they can move into the home easily. They won't see your personal effects or feel like it's someone else's home as opposed to their potential new home. And to be even more blunt, plenty of Denver sellers with hot properties won't want to work with a contingent offer, one that requires you to sell your home first before closing on theirs. A non-contingent offer is a much cleaner and appealing way to approach a seller. That's not to say it can't be done. I do it every year, but it is more complicated. So have the conversation most people skip. Sit down with your agent and a lender and find a way to make an offer that doesn't hang on your old house selling first. Now, I'm not a lender or a mortgage or financial advisor, so please do not take this as financial advice and ask your lender and financial advisor to explain further. If you don't have one of those, I'd be happy to send you some great people locally here in Colorado, but I'm often seeing the following tactics used. One is a bridge loan, a short-term loan against the money you've built up in your current home. It covers the down payment on the new place so you can buy first and sell second. Most last 6 months to a year, and they fit best when you've got strong equity and you're sure your current home will sell relatively quickly. There are also cash offer and trade-in programs where a company lets you make a clean cash offer on the new home while your old one sells the normal way. Of course, that can come at a price. And then there's a recast where you buy first. Then when you sell the old home, you put the money from your sale toward the new loan and have the payment lowered with no full refinance. That's a lot of choices, and the right one comes down to your numbers and loan program. There's no single answer for everybody. Point is, you have options. The other option is to sell and move into a short-term rental so you're not forced to buy a home that you may not be in love with. You don't feel the pressure to buy right away, or again, go the contingent route. And that means showings in your current home, write offers contingent on your home selling as soon as possible to give yourself enough time to make it all happen. But line one of these up and you get the best of both calendars. You sell during the strong spring window, then turn and buy in the softer back half. That's the cleanest version of this whole plan. Aim for the slower months on the buying side, put the bigger deal first, which is almost always the sale, and accept that the timing won't be perfect on both ends. Solve the money side, and that impossible timing finally has an answer, which leaves one last truth, the one hanging over every window we've talked about. Timing is the smallest lever you've got. Neither window will save a bad price, and neither will sink a good one. A home priced right sells in the dead of February, and one priced too high sits all the way through June, while its neighbors close and move on. And I cannot stress this enough. Price for the market you're in, not the one you wish you had. Get the price and the look of the home right first, and let the timing be the bonus on top. The market is too smart to be fooled by the calendar now. Buyers can see every price cut, and they're paying attention. So if you're trying to pin down your own timing, that's the conversation I love having. Shoot me an email, ryan@ryanhaarer.com today, and book a quick call with me. We'll get you clear on where you stand and your next steps before you make a move you can't take back. And remember how every pocket of Denver runs on its own clock? Cherry Creek is the loudest one. There's a billion-dollar project about to reshape what homes over there are worth, and it broke the whole thing down in the video I've linked right here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.